Hey everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Izola here with FlickDirect, and I got my hands on the Blu-ray of Paddington in Peru. Figured I would give you a brief review on it. So grab your popcorn, sit back, relax, and let's get this started. Paddington in Peru kicks off with our favorite fluffy little bear heading back to the homeland to go visit his Aunt Lucy, who's now basically living in a home for retired bears. The Browns tag along, of course, and what is supposed to be a sweet, simple, and loving reunion turns into a wild and unexpected adventure. But I mean, you should expect that because if Paddington and the Browns just went and said, "Hi, Aunt Lucy," and then left, it wouldn't be much of a plot now, would it? But I digress. So, chaos ensues and they have a really wild adventure. I thought the storyline was really fun. It had some pieces where, it was kind of something that you may have seen before, or maybe it kind of fell into plots one and two. But overall, it deviated enough to where it still felt new and pretty exciting, especially because you're going to a retired home for bears. And also it's in Peru, which is absolutely gorgeous. So I think there's enough to really like separate it, but also it fits in within the other two to make just the perfect franchise. It really wasn't that repetitive, which goes to my previous comment. So be assured you won't be bored. I think something that's been an issue in the past, well, it's not that I think, I know, that usually once you get past two, the movies tend to not do so great. They just kind of get boring. It's the same old repetitive spiel. But with this one, it actually works. And if you think about it, we just talked about Sonic 3 as well. And that one actually I thought could either hold off pretty well on its own if you have a base understanding of the characters, but it still fit in and was not overly repetitive or boring. So I think maybe some of the studios are finally figuring it out, and hopefully, if we do want these additional movies within the same franchise, maybe we'll be able to get them and not be bored after the second one or disappointed. The acting, of course, is fantastic. It was just such a great watch, and everybody did a great job. The voice acting is great as well. You really feel invested in these characters, and also what happened to Aunt Lucy. So I really think that you guys are going to enjoy it just based on the acting and the sets alone. And let's not forget about Paddington himself. I mean, he's just so adorable, and they did such a great job on him. Every little hair stroke, everything, just perfection, like just real life. You just want to jump in and hug him. But of course, you can't really do that in real life. So you get a CG bear. Yeah, I would want I would want the bear. So cute. But we'll talk about more of, visuals in just a second. I just wanted to point that out because, the overall feel of this movie was just so wonderful. They did a great job pre and post production. The directing, uh, ideas for certain scenes really worked. And overall, you just get this feeling of that everybody just really likes each other. It's like a big family for real. So it really worked out for this movie. And because of all of this, I give the story of Paddington in Peru a 4 out of 5. And now on to video. And as I kind of stated previously, this is just a visually stunning release. I think they did a really excellent job of just giving us those vibrant and sharp views in the transfer. It's just, I mean, they really nailed it, to be honest. Low lights are just set perfectly, and you can still see just enough in those shadows or dark scenes. And then the really bright and vibrant colors of Peru, I mean, they just pop and it's gorgeous. And it really makes me want to go, which eventually one day I will because it is on my bucket list. Kind of need to plan my travels out, but if I do go, I will definitely be looking for the retirement home for those cute little bears. I mean, I know it doesn't exist, but still, how cool would that be if it did? Okay, back to the bears. If you pay attention to Paddington's fur, I don't even know how to explain how detailed each individual fur strand is. And then you have the under fur coating that's more of the floofier fur that just kind of gives him his overall fluffy appearance. But that doesn't take away. They meticulously drew in every little fur. Like I you're gonna have to watch to fully understand, but I actually looked up what they used to get the strokes of fur just so perfect. And I mean, you got to give them credit for doing that because that's a lot of work. A lot of work. I mean, I give all artists a lot of credit because they do what I do not have the patience for and probably not even the talent. I can copy things. Copying's great, but not to make money off of it. So but yeah, they just do an excellent job with this. And because of how meticulous they were with these, Paddington just feels so much more realistic. And again, you just want to reach out and hug him, or have a conversation with him because he's so polite. You also have beautiful fabrics, the bark of the trees and the stones. Everything is either razor sharp or softened just enough to really seem as realistic as possible for those things that aren't real, but also just making things come to life on the big screen. And that's what we really want. We want to see just these beautiful scenes. We want the contrast where it needs to be. We want, just low lights and highlights just to absolutely shine, so to speak. And they just did an excellent job in pre and post production for this. So I really think that you're going to enjoy the visuals for this. And because of all of this, I'm going to give the visuals and video a 5 out of 5. I mean, did we expect anything else? And now onto audio. I really think that the studios have figured out exactly what they need to do now for the audio quality. You're really not getting bad audio quality with these transfers. They are loud when they need to be, soft when they need to be, and it's not way over the top like in some of the previous ones that I have reviewed. And those were obviously older, but you can really see that if you go to something like Collateral, which was an anniversary one, versus now, you can really see the differences, whether they're subtle or not, in the movie transfers. And of course, anything from the 90s and back, they're just not going to be as good unless if they go and re-record. When you have movies like Paddington in Peru and they spend so much time outdoors, you really start paying attention to what's happening in your surroundings, I should say. So that means you're going to hear birds chirping, you're going to hear people or things, animals, whatever, stepping on dead leaves or branches cracking, the wind rustling through the trees. And you really need to make sure those stick out where they need to. And they really made sure to get all of those sounds all over the place without going overboard. And it just kind of immerses you into the scene, which is great because you're running around, just seeing all these beautiful things, but also watching the chaos that's, unraveling in front of you on the screen. But because they do such a good job with the sound, you just hear all these little things. And honestly, you don't have to have surround sound speakers or anything like that, but I think they're cheap enough now to where I think everybody should, because it's just so much fun when you're watching something and all of a sudden you just hear crackling behind you or crickets or, birds chirping, whatever. It's super fun. The dialogue is crisp and clear. It's very understandable, even when things come down to very quiet speaking or whispers, things of that nature. You're going to still be able to understand everything very easily. And I also think that they did a great job on keeping the levels pretty even. So when there is a really exciting scene, in the past, you probably had almost like a jump scare because everything just gets really loud. And then it'll go back to a quiet scene and you have to turn the levels back up. And then another loud scene comes in and, yeah, pretty much blowing your eardrums out. With this, it's pretty level. I mean, it still happens a little bit, but I think that's just expected because they also want you to have that little bit of excitement when whatever's happening on the screen is happening. They want you to feel that little rush of adrenaline. So I get that that's part of it, but sometimes it's a little excessive, and this one is not. So you can thank them for saving your eardrums a bit. Overall, the audio quality is clear and consistent. It gives you everything you want while watching this movie. You're not going to miss out on any dialogue or even the little birds chirping near your ear. So because of all of this, I give the audio a 5 out of 5. And now on to the extras. The extras are pretty basic, but also really adorable, and I think they're more family friendly. Now, of course, if you don't have kids, you can still enjoy these. They're really cute, but there's nothing over the top or uh, lots of deleted scenes or extra scenes, things like that. I wish there were a little more, but I think that they did a good average job on giving extras to this release. Again, it's a little more kid friendly, but still cute nonetheless. So besides the digital copy, you're gonna actually be able to create your own adventure map, create your own friendship bracelet, which I thought those were just adorable. And then you also have a sing along, which I swear any movie that is kind of kid friendly or just, for kids in general. I mean, this was based off of books from when I was a child and probably even our parents. I mean, these books, they're old. So you can kind of understand why this is more geared towards children, but I think for nostalgia purposes and things like that, having these create your own items and also sing-alongs are just perfect. So you're also going to get the making of Paddington in Peru, so you kind of get to see the behind the scenes, which we know I love those. And then set tours. So you get a set tour of the Browns house and then also the home for retired bears. And I just think that's kind of cute because I don't know about you guys, but whether it's on or off a lot, I like to see one, how things are made, and two, where they film them. Because you never know, it could be, especially in LA, we see a lot of buildings downtown that are used. And then you can go to locations close to like Griffith Park. Griffith Park is used a lot, that road heading up to it, because it's just this windy kind of road. So I'm just curious because I'll see something and be like, I know where that is. Now, not in this because, Peru and lot stuff, but still, it's just kind of fun to see how and where they film things. And that's it for the extras. Again, it's really kid friendly. I plan on actually watching this with the niece and nephew when I go to visit them. I think they'll just really enjoy it as well. And I mean, maybe we'll do the sing along, and we're definitely making friendship bracelets. But again, even if you just want to get together with your friends and watch the extras, it's fun and it's cute. So I don't think that it is a waste of time. So definitely check them out. Once again, there's not a lot of them, but they are fun. And again, mostly kid friendly, but I still think that we can all enjoy it. And because of this, I'm giving the extras a 3 out of 5. Overall, the Blu-ray for Paddington in Peru is a great addition to the franchise. It gives you the adorable, fun, loving Paddington, the family dynamic with the Browns and also Aunt Lucy. You also have a fun adventure, and it's just a sweet story that fits in again with the franchise. So I think it's a great trilogy, even way to end the Paddington series. I don't know, they'll probably make some more. But it was just really cute and entertaining. The acting is great. The voice acting is wonderful. Visuals are stunning, as is the audio being clear and crisp. I mean, it's just an overall great watch. And even if you don't have kids, I still think you guys will enjoy it, especially if it's something from your childhood. Again, I read these books when I was a kid. They're very small from what I remember. It's been a very long time. And it just, it's nostalgia. You know, it's almost like a Curious George kind of thing. Like if they started making those movies, I'd probably go watch them because I remember them as a kid. So I really think that, this is an enjoyable experience for all. It's definitely something that I am happy to have in my library because I may just want to watch it again, or like I said, I will bring it with me to watch with the niece and nephew because I really think they're going to love it. And because of all this, I give the Blu-ray of Paddington in Peru a 4.25. Yeah, so above a 4. So it did a really great job. Again, extras, they're average, but also different. So even though you're not getting a lot, you're definitely getting a different experience from the others. So that's a bonus as well. Now, the Blu-ray is still available for pre-order. It's actually coming out the 29th, which is tomorrow. So if you don't want to wait for wherever you decide to order it from, you can definitely just go in store and purchase it. You know they're going to have it, unless if you're lazy like me, then just, you just wait for it to arrive in the mail. But they do get it to you pretty quickly, so you won't have to wait too long. But if you do get it and you do decide to do the sing along or the friendship bracelet or the map or anything like that, please let me know. I would love to hear it. Maybe take a picture. I don't know, send a video, leave it in the comments. I'm totally down to, watch you guys do a sing along. I think that would be a lot of fun. And with that, this concludes my review of the Blu-ray Paddington in Peru. Please be sure to like and subscribe to all of our channels so you never miss out on any entertainment news. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye!